Bitcoin today is actually seeing a little bit of downside. Hopping over to the 4-hour chart, we can see that after the Fed talks yesterday saying that interest rates will likely be raised next month, after that, well, we've seen, some dumping, some selling, some uncertainty, and some bearish speculation. So the topic of discussion today is going to be, how do we know when the bottom is in? When will we know? What are the signs to look out for? Well, in today's video, we're going to be discussing my #1 favorite indicator that has almost never failed me since the end of 2017, and that is the Coinbase weekly volume. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin Svenson, and today we're going to be discussing the topic of when do we know that Bitcoin has bottomed? We're going to be answering that question today. So before we get started, smash that like button and subscribe to this channel if you're new. So today we are seeing that the stock market is coming down. We are actually now on the 4-hour chart here for the S&P 500 hitting lower lows. So we are, failing to hold support, continuing down, seeing bearish speculation. Bitcoin as well. If we hop over to the daily chart, just hugging that support line ever so slightly, looking like we may actually come down here soon. And why is that? It's because the US dollar index here on the daily chart is now hitting a new high, is now actually getting higher highs. As the S&P is hitting lower lows, DXY, higher highs. US dollar index has literally gone parabolic. This, we're seeing that there's a lot of momentum here for the US dollar index. And that is concerning for asset prices, which is why I'm also, remaining very skeptical of the market, discussing downside risk. That's what we've been doing here on this channel. The question now is, if the DXY is going to break this resistance or something like that, maybe we do reject and we avoid a whole, this whole bearish scenario. But if the DXY keeps this momentum up and breaks through this resistance, what's going to happen to Bitcoin? Well, let's pull up the Bitcoin chart. Well, usually when the DXY is going down, Bitcoin, see here, going parabolic up. When the DXY is coming down, Bitcoin's going parabolic up. But what happens if the DXY pops that resistance? Well, Bitcoin's likely, the purple line is likely going to come down and cool off, right? So how will we know when the bottom has come in? Well, all of my regular viewers know what my #1 indicator is, the indicator that has almost never failed me before, and that is the weekly Coinbase volume. This is, my channel has been known for talking about this and calling tops and bottoms just simply by looking at the Coinbase weekly volume. The 2017 top, major volume signature on that. Even that 6K low point that we held for the better part of a year, that bounce right there, huge volume spike. The next one, Bitcoin comes down to the bottom of the 2018 bear market, massive volume signature. Bitcoin hits that 14K top in 2019, massive volume signature. Bitcoin hits the COVID bottom at 3,800, massive volume signature. Bitcoin hits 30K, our current major support line right there, massive volume signature. So very simply, what we're looking for here to very confidently be able to say the bottom is in, historically what we need to see is a massive volume spike after a dump. It's unlikely that we would get that type of volume on a bounce. It's just very unlikely that bull trends take time to build up. The bull is a conspiratorial animal that works together like a herd to push the price up. But the bear is alone. It acts alone, and it comes in and kind of just swipes the market really quick, swipes the market really quick, swipes the market. So usually that's how you get a lot of these, even on the 2019 K top, huge rejection candle, which gave us that volume signature for the top signal, right? So the bear is usually quick, swift, and acts alone. And that's why you get these quick capitulation candles. I'm not saying that we're going to go that low, but who knows? Maybe, mid 20s, something like that is possible. And what we would want at that point is a huge volume spike. And people are going to say, well, Kev, what price do you think we could go down to? If this bearish scenario does play out, because that's what this video is about, the bearish case. What price could we go to? Well, I don't really care necessarily to predict the exact price and try to take credit for it if it happens You know, I've done all that in the past. I don't really care. All I care about is just, when does this volume spike come in? When is this going to come in? And if that happens, then I will be confident to say the bottom is in. And then I will call the price that we're at the time of that spike and say, all right, well, that's it. You know, that's the bottom. So I know what signals I'm looking for. You know, I know what I'm looking for. The 200, you know, SMA is something that a lot of people talk about. You know, this moving average, which historically is a great bear market low indicator. You know, that is a price that people look at. I personally am not going to rely on that. I don't necessarily think we have to go super low or anything like that. But it all depends on the velocity of the dip of the stock market. That's going to play a huge role. The velocity of the pump for the DXY going to be playing a huge role if Bitcoin's going to come down. Now, before, you know, we get too ahead of ourselves with all of this bearish talk, we actually need confirmation, right? Before we get way ahead of ourselves here. And that would be a 3-day candle close below the 200 SMA on the 3-day chart here. And we are, you know, 2 days away from that close. Or you go to the daily chart and pull up that 600-day SMA, which is a more near-term bearish indicator. If we close today's daily below that, we've never closed a daily below the 200-day, the 600-day SMA. We have not closed a daily below this, the 600-day, since 2020 COVID. So this is a long-term moving average. And when you start closing below long-term moving average, it means that the trend is possibly shifting, right? But it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world if we do dump. A lot of people are going to think, well, Kev's just talking about doom and gloom. He's saying that it's all over. No, not at all. I want to show you guys something that's very interesting. If you go to the monthly chart for Bitcoin and you pull up the 20 EMA, check this out. Once you get below that 20 EMA on the monthly chart, right? First of all, let's look at 2014. When you got below that, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 months to the bottom. That was it. And then you could have just started buying like crazy, and you made incredible gains. Just 4 months down. That's it. Not the end of the world. Look at 2018. We got below that 20-month EMA. 2 months, just 2 months down. You buy like crazy, you make epic gains. Okay, let's look at where we are now. Well, coming up on it. How many months will it be if we break down? 1, 2, 3, whatever. Great, bottoms in, buy like crazy, and you make a lot of money on the next bull market. So it's not at all that it's the end of the world. It's actually a warning to get prepared to buy. Because a lot of people are going to be giving up if we dump. If we dip, a lot of people are just going to give up and walk away. But it's actually time to get ready to buy. But, you know, you don't want to be too premature about it. A lot of analysts out there are going to call the bottom too early. They're going to see, you know, one red candle and say, all right, guys, that's it, bottom's in. But usually you get a longer trend down and then, you know, a longer sideways. It's, you know, a lot more painful than people probably want it to be. But all I'm saying is, you know, it could be just a few months down, and then we trade sideways into the halving and pump into the halving. And that's it. And again, we're looking for Coinbase weekly volume to tell us when the bottom's in. And I really think it doesn't have to be more complicated than that. We're waiting for that volume spike, guys. And then we can start buying like crazy. The cycle starts again. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you all in the next one. Smash the like button, subscribe to this channel, join the Patreon if you want to support the channel. I'll see you guys soon.